Very hot. More a younger person. More contemporary.
Oh.
Very, like all of them would know.
Oh.
How about the
Starts with a B.
With
The middle.
what?
The middle pink.
Let's scroll down. It's
Pink.
Ray Charles and Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
middle
The
is
middle is it's pink.
ask them. Who's that one in pink?
Oh, I know.
Pink.
Yeah, that's the one who just
Most-
was Taylor.
Yeah, that was it.
And the one that the very top.
Starts with a B.
It's not Beyonce.
Starts with a B.
Not Beyonce.
Not Beyonce.
No.
Beyonce is
Beyonce
the green
is
one right there.
Ah.
Yeah. You can name all 24. Big prize.
Which one is there a few times?
Everyone's only here once.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Elton John.
Elton
I
John.
thought that was John Lennon again.
Yeah, yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
And I also thought that might have been John Lennon.
It starts with a B. And there's like BT.
What? Who?
BT. That's the initials.
Who?
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Harmonica is the way.
Who's that? With a B.
Right.
Somebody who's probably, I don't know how old she is, maybe 23. Yeah.
Oh, very young.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I put up, she was like 17. 6 years. She was very, very young. But she'll be equally famous. So maybe like a good presentation on how I do this. Each one of them is hand done. Or not me. I didn't make it. They're from an artist, graphic designer done by hand. Like every single piece was drawn by hand. Not a filter, not AI.
Oh, I
Yeah.
assumed it was a filter.
No.
Very nice.
Are we done? Each one takes about like 10 hours.
Oh my
8
God.
to 10 hours. Yeah.
So give me a hint. Give me a name of the song by B.
Try not to give away the most famous. Ocean Eyes.
What?
Ocean Eyes.
There's a song
You
here.
know? Sing
Yeah.
it. Starts with a B.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like.
She, well, 'cause that's when she was probably like 17.
Ah.
Yeah.
Why do you watch hairs?
Yeah. Put this over here.
Me, why don't you sing the part? All of you.
Yeah.
There's another one. No.
No,
Yeah.
there is one.
Are we streaming?
Yes.
Oh, June, can they do that way? It's blocking.
What's wrong?
The far away.
Oh, is it? Sorry, girls.
Yeah.
I'll correct it in. Once you guys sit on the side. See that?
No, this is blocking.
Let me know when you're ready. Oh, we're ready? Okay, great. Do you want me to put this in my desk? Is that easy? Yeah, you can put it on the seat.
Give it.
Oh, wait, is that yours? Oh, it's yours?
No,
Oh, it's yours, okay. Oh, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I almost said good morning. My name is Julian. We're excited today because this is the first time we've ever done this officially. We have done it where we've done it online and kids, I think the first time was like 7 years ago, and kids were talking about the mistakes they made or how the theory of the music that they did or something that they thought was interesting about the music. But we've never done it in person, and we've never done it about how you learn the piece. So I know that some of you will talk about your music, and some of you will talk about practice strategies and all of that, and I think that's really good. One thing I would suggest today is speak up and speak to your audience, get comfortable. We made it small on purpose. Everything's small, the form factor is small so you can feel comfortable. We didn't put it in the hall so that you're like, oh no, there's 100 people looking at me. Just get really comfortable. And the other thing I was going to say that we're excited about is we're going to have a question for you. So I would strongly encourage, if you are presenting, to think of questions for other people because they will also think of questions for you. Okay? So for example, a question could be, hey, I noticed, I asked this in the last session, I noticed you really like this piece. Did you pick this piece out, or did your teacher pick this piece out? If you picked it out, how did you pick it out? Or, you talked about backwards practice today. Does it always have to be 3 measures? It can be 5 measures? How does that work? So you can ask them about specifics of the tool that they use for practice. Okay, well, we have 4 presenters today and 4 performers. I'm gonna be running your slides, very low tech today. So just tell me next if you want me to turn the slide for your presentation. First up, we have Miss Aviana. Let's hear her.
Hi, my name is Aviana, and the piece I will playing today is Figures. It was composed by a contemporary pianist named Julian, and the piece is C minor. If I had to describe an emotion this piece portrays, I would say that this piece represents happiness and peace. Originally, I only started playing this piece because my mom was requesting me to play for the last few months, and I brushed it off because I thought this piece was way too challenging for me. However, as I learned this piece, I took it as a challenge to improve my piano technique, but I also kept on going just because I really liked how nice it sounded. In addition, I wanted to use this piece to explore some compositions through a composer's point of view. While learning this piece, I unfortunately hit a roadblock. The original piece is actually set to 100 beats per minute, and I felt myself comfortable only practicing it at 30 beats per minute. For context, 30 beats per minute is half a second. However, since I really wanted to play this piece properly, I found myself practicing a lot. As I did, my speed slowly evolved from 30 beats per minute to 50 BPM, then 70 BPM, which was just 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I experienced some other difficulties. I would unconsciously make my left hand way louder than my right hand, completely ruining this piece's tranquil mood. In addition to my fingers would constantly slip on notes. Since this piece contains a lot of octaves in my right hand, my fingers would slip. And since I spent a lot of time only practicing those tough octaves, my fingers would often be sore and cramped by the end of the day. To fix my piece's speed problem, I slowly built up my speed as mentioned. In addition, I also put more focus onto specific passages in the piece. Since my hands are lacking balance while playing the piece, I put more awareness on my left hand side and soften. My fingers would also often slip on the piece due to there being many accidentals at home. So I stopped getting ahead of myself and slowed down a bit to focus on not having any slippers. Lastly, I experienced a lot of hand pain while playing this piece. I later learned that my hands were a little small to play so many octaves in a row, so I tried to incorporate my wrist more into it as well as taking breaks while practicing. Some things I noticed while playing this piece was that I had many repeating phrases. For example, the first 2 measures of the piece would repeat a few more times and the piece getting more complicated each time they repeat. I also noticed that the same 2 left-hand cards remain constant throughout the piece. Thank you for listening.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, so do you know why the composer made this piece? I don't know the reason. But it does sound like very emotional. So I was just not completely background.
I had a question about your exploration of piano technique, which I thought was good. I think it was good that you brought it up. I was watching your playing as you were playing, just try to see if I can help as well. When you sit at home, did you check to see the height? Because you're also growing, you're bigger today than you were like 6 months ago, right? Have you checked to see if you adjusted the height? I think that is your primary problem. Do you have an adjustable metronome? Do you have you adjusted the height? But you've gotten taller, right? So you might want to think about that. I hear you're actually at the right height. I think you're slightly too low, by the way. Bench height is almost always the cause of that. Sometimes it could be that you can't reach an octave. I didn't mention that. I think that was good to bring up that. But I don't see that as a problem with you, and I think your hands are big enough. That sense that was an issue. So I just felt that maybe bench height might have been part of it, and it's very common because you guys are constantly growing. With girls it's that, and then with boys it's that they raise their shoulders. That's a very common thing on the stage. So, but I didn't see it with you, so you seem to be fine. Maybe just check your height at home. Yeah? Yeah, good. Did anyone else have any other questions? No other questions? Okay. Okay, whoever's next is I think it's Joseph right now. I'll sit down. You're going to sit at the piano.
Hello, my name is Joseph, and I have prepared the prelude in B flat major right now. So, when you start learning a piece like this, and can you stick to the left side? When you start learning a piece like this, which is pretty short, it's like 2 pages, the first thing you want to do is start sight reading. Sorry, can you go back to the first slide now? So if you want to start sight reading the piece, and as the name suggests, it's in B flat major, right? And you can start seeing the common chords, and from there you can start laying out the common structures and finer sections. After that, when you start practicing the piece, you want to use slow practice to ensure that it's consistent, and if you have not already, you want to integrate the hands together. And finally, when you start refining the piece, you want to use a metronome to do that, and you want to increase the speed of the sections with the metronome. You want to merge the sections with the metronome as well, so everything is still consistent. And lastly, you want to layer the dynamics, add articulations and shaping. And when you do that, you want to listen to other people's interpretations of the song, which I will show you then. Next, please. So first, when you start sight reading, you want to identify key, which is B flat major, and you can also look at common chords. So in section 2, I've notated the B flat broken chord, the C broken chord, and the D minor broken chord. And essentially how this section is broken up is that you can see the intervals between and just in between there's just scales here, but generally you can pick apart each section, and when you start sight reading it, that's how you want to look at each section. Next please. So when you start practicing, you want to practice very, very slowly so everything's very consistent. Especially with a song like this that's written almost entirely in 30-second notes. You want to play very, very slowly. And there's also some odd rhythms you should see. And again, if you want to integrate the hands together, you should do that while you're playing very slowly. So in this section, you play. Very, very simple. Next, please. And finally, when you start refining the piece, you want to, again, use the metronome to make sure you scale up your speed. And you also want to merge the sections with the metronome. And finally, after you've reached a desired speed, you want to layer the dynamics, the shaping, and articulations, because before, when you looked at all the structures, it's it's much easier to find how you should layer the dynamics on top, because you can see the gradients that are in a piece naturally, where the lower notes are the higher notes, and you've also identified the chords and so on like that. So in section 2, a good example is where with the B flat broken chord, we start going to. So when we layer the piece, we want to see the bottom, like how wide it should be going to. So here we're going to make a gradient that goes up. And then after we have a scale, which will and then the last section. So now I'll show my interpretations. Any questions?
Yes, how long did it took you to learn that?
Yeah, so my learning process is quite bizarre. You probably shouldn't do what I did. I learned this piece for CM, as my teacher, Dr. Justin, suggested. I learned it about like 3 months ago, and I just practiced it very mechanically. And it took me like 2 weeks to learn. I picked it up recently, like a week or a few days more than that, and I layered the dynamics and articulations, and I also scaled it eventually. So the process was like 3 months, but it's not. It's like 1 month. So, are there any more questions?
I'll just move further. Who hasn't asked the questions, Skylar? Skylar has a question. He's still thinking, collecting his words. And Aviana also has a question, but I'm going to ask my question first. I really love how you put it in sections, and that's essentially how any professional would do pretty much anything, whether they're a construction worker or they're an architect or they're a pianist. Anyone who does anything fills out in these sections. Now, why was the sections really beneficial to you today?
Yeah, so when you reach the final section, when you want to start refining your piece, you want to layer dynamics on it, right? And with by analyzing how the piece was made, you can see how chords connect to each other. So the slides I have, like I annotated one chord progression, which was B flat to E flat to E diminished to F. And it's really interesting to see why Bach put those in and how you just see how the sounds come together, and that's how you want to play the song. It kind of suggests how you should play it.
More specifically, I was curious about how does it affect your practice? Like when it was in sections, is it easier to break it down, or is it harder? Or why do you sections if it's like what's the function of the section? Is my question.
Yeah, it's easier to sight read. Like if you see a chord, it's easier to play that. If you see a broken chord, it's easier to play that with your hands separately than just to read each division.
Mm-hmm. And then as a performance, then I noticed that you were way more confident because of the section. So if something goes wrong, you can easily jump to the next section. You can kind of work your way through it. So it gives you this feeling of confidence. It reminds me of what, one thing about when I first met your dad, he was saying to me, he's like, I just want my son to play piano and enjoy piano like he enjoys video games. And if we can do that, then I think we're successful. Because he said something like that. And I was like, yes, And we're gonna figure out how to do that. And I feel like because you have sections, it motivates you through the whole thing. And it worked out really well because no matter what, you have each of the sections kind of working. So it's cool to see that. Good job there. It's really nice. I think Scott has a question.
So, what do the numbers mean? There's a word broken at with a 6 on top and 3 on the bottom. What does that mean?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so broken F63. That's a broken chord. So this is an F major chord. And 6/3 is the inversion of that chord. So if we have inversions, say we have the root position of F major. The first inversion will have a interval of 6 on the top and an interval of 3 on the bottom. And that's what it suggests. But in this piece, Bach made it broken. So on the left hand, you have a pretty low F. And then you play the broken chord of F6. And also you get another inversion, which is the root position. And then you get a diminished chord. That's all. Yeah.
All right. Next.
Yeah, that was my question.
Oh.
I forgot what keys the piece in.
B flat major.
Should we go to the next presenter?
Thank you.
Great job. Really good. Who's next?
Oh, wait, no.
Skylar.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just tell me now.
Did I have to memorize the name?
No, you can look at it. You want me to pull it back a little bit? It's very casual today. It's very low tech, very casual. Can you see it again?
Next slide.
Okay.
So, Johann Sebastian was born in March 1685. He lived in Germany and spent the harpsichord in Oregon. He lived in the Baroque period of music and is one of the most famous composers. Next. The challenges were first the second half of the piece. It was difficult. And two, the key signature was hard to get used to and learn. And the potential challenge for other players is memorization. Next. I've mostly used backwards practice and conducting for learning my piece. Backward practice is playing a measure and adding more measures backwards. Conducting is tapping your hand to the beat while playing with the other hand. Memorization, memorize hands separate first and then put both hands together. Next. Thank you. This is the new version though.
Oh, you have different slides? I don't know, this is what I received.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to say more?
No, I forgot.
Okay. You did. Good. Very well.
also break your the whole thing into sections?
No.
So you practice one hand first and the other hand and then watch both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, there was section? But it was just the different pages.
Scarlett, I think you did great for your first presentation. You can relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Okay, right. There you go. Okay, so the first thing, I had a question. So the playing is very good, by the way. Very even playing, and I know exactly why it is. But I wanted to ask you, what is the purpose of conducting? Because conducting is a pain. Nobody wants to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No student, including the teachers, don't want to do that because I'm going to watch you guys suffer through conducting.
Yeah.
Why do we do conducting? It improves what specific thing? Why were you able to play so well today?
Playing smooth.
Can you be like even more specific? Because I know you know, or you probably heard it 25 times from the teacher. The number one thing it improves is hand independence, right? Because when you're conducting, you're having to do one hand do one thing, the other hand do the other thing, so it improves it, right? And when you played today, it was really beautiful. Why would we want to do that in Bach? Like, why not? I mean, why is it so valuable in Bach versus other composers? Does anybody know? Anyone can answer that. Yeah, Joseph?
There's a lot of long passages,
Yeah,
and there's
long
also a lot of technical sections which are pretty handy synchronous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so what he's saying, and it applies to you too, is that you have a lot of moments where your left hand is doing something different than your right hand. We have to practice conducting for those type of moments, and it was great. You really had good control. So good job. I think Mira asked that question. Yeah.
No, Mira was like
You had a question for him?
the conducting thing. Why can't he helping you play box piece?
Cause like the pieces, box pieces usually have several like voices. So if you play them individually, it helps.
What's the number one problem that conducting can fix?
Wrong notes.
No. They use physical coordination. When you try to coordinate both of your hands,
Oh.
right? When you have one foot in your right hand, one foot in your left hand, and unfortunately, because the way he composes has a lot of different notes, they don't have too much pattern on that. And even if there's a repeated pattern, it with totally different notes. So you most likely will have a physical coordination problem, and that's the reason you use conducting. The conducting will be so helpful. Thank you.
Just tell me now.
So hi everyone, my name is Mira, and today I'm going to be performing and talking about Lucky by Halsey. Next please. So this song is the 16th track on Halsey's album The Great Impersonator, and it was released on July 26, 2024. It is a very emotional and personal song. It talks about like many of her different challenges in her life. So yeah, that is. So the inspiration, I think most of you adults in the room might know about Britney Spears' Lucky. Anyone? Anyone? Never. So if you listen to both versions, you can see that Halsey's Lucky draws many like lines straight from the Britney Spears version. And the song is based on many of Halsey's tragic experiences, which we will cover now. So the public mass, the theme of the general lyrics of the song, it shows how Halsey tried to please her fans on social media on the outside, and she was dealing with like so many challenges on the inside. And many parts of the lyrics, like these, suggest this for different people, and she's not able to be herself, kind of. And my challenges and techniques. So I'm going to sing and play. Singing loudly and with emotion while playing the piano is hard because you have to feel the song, but you also have to like get the notes right and do the dynamics of the song and the piano and singing. And then the song is mostly just a few chords and notes repeated. But there are some chords like during the bridge, there are some chords that were a bit hard for me to learn at first. And how I learned this piece, I mostly just went line by line since I already knew the song. It was fairly easy for me. And yeah, so.
Questions?
singing and with the Americans and playing the piano? How did you practice?
So first I did the piano part, which was pretty easy for me. And since I already knew the song, I sang with the piano. And my teacher graciously made it pretty, like, not very difficult for me. And yeah.
Is this like a third or fourth song that you sang and played together? It's like a recent thing, right? Remember last year and a half?
I played this at the barbecue.
Right. But I don't mean the specific song, I mean like in general, songs that you sang
Oh,
and
yeah.
like how many have you done?
I've done this one, and also I sang and played Ocean Ave at the prom concert.
So like 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that Joseph brought up, which I really like, is like how difficult it is to play and sing. It's very difficult. It's, I mean, even like speaking and playing at the same time is really hard. And what strategies have you used? I mean, it was really cool because like one thing, I'll talk about it later, but like you really revealed what you are interested in from your presentation. You're like, clearly you love the backstory and you're a fan. And all
Yeah,
that
I
was
know, like,
super
most
clear.
of it is just.
I know, yeah. So I'm just curious about like what you did like step by step specifically. And you said it was easy for you to learn the part, but like how did you practice getting the rhythm with the singing, with the playing and all that?
I know the rhythm is kind of hard, but I guess I already kind of knew it. Because I know the song well.
So what would you recommend to somebody who doesn't know the rhythm?
Maybe just like focus, if you're having trouble with either the piano part or the singing part, maybe practice that more.
Just focus on the letter. Yeah.
Yeah, and then try adding in the other part.
Okay, good. That's good.
That's it.
Which one is more difficult for you, the singing part or the piano part?
I have to sing the piano part, some parts, because I already know the singing part. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, we'll walk this. Thank you again for spending your Saturday afternoon in the middle of the day when you could be doing anything else with us, for preparing. It was a very cool event for me to see this. What I most enjoyed about this, not that that matters, but the sharing, is I have been enjoying watching you guys grow up. So for some of you, this is, I mean, even, I think Scarlett's been a student here, and you've already been with us for almost 2 years or something like that, maybe a year and a half. So it's been very fun for me to watch you guys mature. Joseph's very mature today, really, really cool. You're playing so much better. And it was really cool to see you, like, I think I heard you in a lesson one day, like 3 months ago, and you were afraid to sing.
Oh my
And then I was like, I started singing because I'm so bad at singing. You're like, well, Mr. Julian's singing.
That
I'm literally the second worst person in the world at singing. So like,
I was like, my ears.
yeah, right. See, so I was singing, and then like, it's very, very nice performance. So even playing, and now we just gotta get you to be more confident in your presentation. Maybe do 3 more of these, and it'll be, and then your shoulder will come down a little bit. So great job, everyone, today. Thank you to the teachers, whether they're here or